Hello students, this is your course on blogging and tools. In this video on identifying blogging niche, we are going to talk about competitor analysis in a niche. Let's begin by understanding what is competitor analysis. Competitor analysis, although a very common marketing or management term, could be something grossly misunderstood by someone who is not from that background. So let's break down the whole concept and try to understand what all comes under this particular activity. Competitor analysis within a niche further enhances the understanding of scope within a niche and helps you prepare a more detailed blogging plan. While I'm going to tell you what competitor analysis for blogging is and what you do when you are trying to understand and explore and analyze the competitors of a particular niche, the steps that we're going to discuss is very much similar for any other business strategies that you're trying to devise and you want to check what your competitors are doing in that area. So you begin by checking who your current and potential competitors are. When it comes to blogging, you try to see that who are the other players who are also managing similar kind of blogs in that space, in that niche where you want to enter. And if you are aware of any other companies, any brands which may enter at a future date and also create a blog similar to yours, which you are about to do right now. So that's the idea of understanding who your current and potential competitors are. The benefit of doing so is you understand the amount of aggression, amount of competition that you can face from these people. You also understand your place in the market. If there are very strongly established competitors in the market, that tells you that it's going to take you a long time to attract their clientele to your blog. It also tells you that for foreseeable future you will be a laggard in the market and you will become a challenger if you're very good with the content that you're putting out there eventually, but it will take you some time to reach to the leadership level. So understanding your competitors is important so that you know what is the endpoint and what you can do to improve your blog and what you can do to beat the competitors eventually. Then what type of content are they offering is also another thing that is something that you need to check when you're doing competitor analysis in a particular niche for blogging. If it were for any other marketing strategy development, then you would do competitor analysis from that perspective. So you won't check the content they are offering, you will check their products, you will check their pricing, you will check their distributors, their channels, or how exactly is it that they're doing business. But since we are talking about blogging only, so you focus primarily on the content that they are offering. Now, a competitor that you have selected could have really great products available in their inventory, in their product portfolio, but their blog may not be as strong as what you are planning to create. So what you need to evaluate right now is the content that they have put out on their blog, because that is where you're trying to compete with them. And that is where you can actually overtake them very fast if you play the game right. Then you need to check their strengths and weaknesses. You have to find out if their blog is performing well, what are the key reasons, what kind of content are they producing best. Also, is there any weakness that you can exploit? Is there any gap left by them? Which is your next step. You check the content that they have produced. Is it having some gaps, and is it causing the customers to miss out on some critical information, some critical type of content, which gives you the opportunity that you can produce that content and fill the gap. You can also try to determine at this point if a gap has been left by your competitors. Is it deliberate? Is it a topic, or is it an area which the customers are not really interested in? And should you also just leave it alone, or should you explore it and try to capture another type of audience altogether on your blog? So that opens up a lot of discussion points and a lot of strategy points for your blog eventually. Then you try to analyze how they have successfully monetized their blog. So basically, your competitor analysis is in a way trying to see what your competitors have done so far, successfully and not so successfully, and if they have been able to earn money out of their blog, make money out of their blog, and they have adopted certain monetization practices which are relevant to your niche. That is like your competitors have done your homework for you, and you can also simply learn from it and strategize your blog in such a fashion, yeah, that eventually you can also monetize your blog in the same way. Then you also have to check that do you have the resources and skills to poach their readership. When you're doing competitor analysis, you would come across certain key information point about your competitors. You will come to realize the frequency of posts. You will come to realize the quality of their content. You will come to realize if their blog is having a lot of multimedia, having a lot of detailed content. You will come to realize that there is a team of people working on that blog. And now you have to assess whether you have the same kind of resources and skills to create a blog that can actually compete with them. Because unless you do so, you won't be able to poach their readership. You won't be able to attract their current readers to your own blog. So you have to do an assessment that if you want to match their strengths, if you want to match their quality of content, do you have the budget? Do you have the resources in terms of human resources, in terms of intellectual property, in terms of skill set? And can you then build a blog that would properly be able to compete in that particular niche or not? That is the best way to strategize, and that is actually planning for winning. And that's what you should be doing as a blogger, whether individually or whether you're planning to set up a blog for a company. Let's take a case into consideration. For instance, let's say you want to set up a travel blog, which is one of the most top performing categories of niche in the blogging space right now. So let's say you want to set up a travel blog, and you go online and you try to find out three most attractive or top performing travel blogs that either you have been following or have the best possible readership, best type of content. So in this case, what I've done is I have selected three competitors. One is Migrationology, the other is TK Travels, the third one is Adventurous Kate. All three bloggers have a different way of presenting information, presenting content to their readers. They have a very different personality of the blog, and they have actually captured different geographic areas to talk about. They have, of course, there is some overlap of the destinations which they have traveled to, and therefore they have created content around it. But the way they are capturing their audience is very different. They are actually within the same broad niche of travel. They are able to talk to three different smaller market segments. How is that possible? So analysis of these three blogs reveal that the most successful content is built around travel experiences and travel tips for followers with lots of images and video content. And that you can easily do by spending about an hour on each blog and seeing which of their blog posts or which of their guides, which of the different types of content has the maximum reaction, has the maximum viewership or readership. And that gives you an idea what kind of format you should be adopting for your blog eventually. So in all three competitors, you can find that there would be some posts which would be written around travel experiences or helpful travel tips. And there would be some posts which would be perhaps not taking these into consideration. They may be about prep for a trip, or they may be about finding the best deals. They could be any number of subtopics under the travel domain. So what you will find is that when you are doing a competitor analysis, some concurrent themes can emerge out for you, which you can then shortlist to be tackled for your own blog. As in this case, I was able to determine that travel experiences and tips with lot of images and video content have the best participation from the readership and have the best reaction and best views. So best kind of connection with the intended target audience is through such kind of content. And that tells me that if I want to set up a successful blog, my blog also has to have this kind of content. Then similar content can be prepared in my blog by for different geographical destinations or same destinations but with appeal to a different target market segment. For instance, the blogs on TK Travels and Adventurous Kate. TK Travels is talking more about group travels, and on the other hand, Adventurous Kate is talking about more in terms of solo girl travel experiences. And Migrationology has not really identified any particular demographic segment. So if I want to set up a brand new travel blog, I can go in any of these directions. I can perhaps have more content on solo girl travel experiences, or especially I can design something for Asian travels when they are going to different countries. How is their currency performing? What kind of experiences they have? If they're looking for vegetarian food, if they're looking for Asian friendly experiences, what is their exposure and what is their experience? Because the top blogs in my space are looking at things from a European perspective or an American perspective. There is a scope for me to do this for my different target market, that is of Asians. Or I can completely look at a different demography like the elderly and create helpful content for them also. Then I can also see from the comparison of these three competitors and analyzing the kind of ways in which they are making money, that the monetization potential lies in selling travel resources like city guides or travel guides to a particular destination, or selling curated travel packages which could be organized by the blog owners, and they could have partnerships with hospitality service providers or travel service providers having traveled so well and having established a network of service providers. So this is also another great way of making money out of blog, or affiliate marketing, which could be my starting point also. And that tells me that if I want to start making money from my blog from the get-go, that is how I should be approaching it if I want to become successful in this particular niche. And that's how you do competitor analysis, so that the overall blog management process becomes clearer, becomes more structured for you. What this derives for you is gives you the initial core topics to be covered on your own blog, as I was discussing earlier in the case. Then it also gives you an idea of blog themes and design, the content tone, which could be preferred by your readers. Do you need to be more professional? Do you need to be friendly? Do you need to be informal? Do you need to have an aggressive attitude, authoritative attitude, or do you need to have a helpful kind of an attitude? You can understand that by seeing how these bloggers, successful competitors, are designing their content and which kind of content is actually performing well with their readership. Then it can also help you understand the posting frequency and editorial goals to be achieved to remain competitive. If the best competitors in the niche that you have selected are posting every day, that tells you that without fail that is a frequency which you have to match. If you are anywhere below it, you would take a long time to reach to the level where you can actually compete with the top players in the niche. Given that if you want to just become a moderately successful blog, or you just want to put your brand out there, it's okay to set a posting frequency below what the top competitors are doing. But it definitely gives you an idea that how much is the right amount and how frequently you should be doing your content development and publication and distribution. It also, of course, tells you the value added elements to offer for attracting and retaining customers, and the kind of offers you can run, the different kind of content formats that you can produce and provide to your customers, and value add which you can give to them in terms of resources, tools, in terms of cases, in terms of any additional input which is not the core value proposition of the blog, but you can eventually offer, is something which you can understand by looking at the most successful competitors which are existing in the niche. So by following your competitors closely, you are never likely to run out of idea. It's basically their teams also working for you. So that's what you are expected to do when you're researching a niche thoroughly. You should also be checking how well the competitors are performing and how exactly is it that they are doing what they're doing, and that can help you start formulating a more aggressive, efficient, yet fruitful blogging strategy. So that's about competitor analysis. Next up, we'll talk about monetization and affiliate potential in a niche. I've referred to it multiple times in the previous videos. Now we'll tackle this particular topic with a little bit more focus to understand that when you are studying a niche, you also need to pay attention to current as well as future potential of making money out of that niche. So that's what we'll do next time. Until then, thank you.